weekdays from 2 to 5. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
There's a lot of things to take away. Offensively, it just comes down to execution. I think we just got to have more urgency to start the game.
Third down 4. Here goes Rush. He's got him. Touchdown. Sutton. And they beat Douglas.
We got to find a way to just put up points. We just got to find a way to be better, honestly.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Fake to Dillon. Blocked by Musgrave. He's got him. And it's caught at the same time. Dobbs. Tie goes to the offensive player. It's a touchdown. Love. Sidearm through the hands of Dobbs. Caught by Reed. On the ricochet. Caught by Reed.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Yeah, I think it's a true test to all of us.
52-yard field goal for the lead. It is good. Tom with the block. Going deep. And looking. It's intercepted. It's picked off by Locke.
You know, as a play caller, I feel total 100% responsible for when it's not working.
Clock at 1, and zeros on the clock. They've called the game. That's all she wrote.
It is extremely frustrating.
We just got to find a way to be better, honestly.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight. He ain't doing
well, that sucked. Pretty much across the board. And yet, Packers are still in a position to win that game yesterday late. They're still in a position to walk out of Denver with a victory. What are we doing throwing for the end zone when all you need is a field goal? I don't want to try to oversimplify this sucker, but to me it all comes down to that. It all comes down to, yes, your guy had missed from 43 earlier in the day, I'm well aware. Had been perfect before that. But all you need is the field goal. You got the stupid penalty, you got the stupid holding penalty that pulls you out of field goal range. Well, they were on the edge of field goal range, but pulls you out of field goal range. And then you're throwing a Hail Mary heave to the end zone when your guy has one of the worst accuracies on deep balls in the history of starting quarterbacks' accuracy on deep balls.
I don't think that's, when you're saying your guy, I think you're talking to Jordan Love. Why are you doing that?
Well, Matt LaFleur made the call, didn't he? Didn't Matt LaFleur after the game say he made that?
Are there more than one route in plays in the NFL, or
there are.
Okay,
more than one route.
There's check downs.
Okay,
there's a lot of check downs. They're good at check downs.
They're actually not even that good at check downs. Jordan Love had 10 completions in the first half, guys. Shall I, maybe for funsies, maybe for Nazis, rattle off to you?
Yes.
-2. 1. What? Funsies and Nazis?
Don't say that.
What's not? Oh, give me a break. I wasn't trying to say that.
I understand.
Michigan State.
The word.
You still said
This is a vocal media.
It was with a K-N.
N-O-T-S-I-E.
Now you're going to be the third party that the GKB is going to have to offer an apology for.
Not even that. It'll be like Michigan State.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's a third party. GKB is going to put out the statement apologizing for a third party.
-2, 1, 2. I can't believe you guys caught that. Didn't even faze me. -2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 8, 14. That was the yardage on each of his 10 completions in the first half. -2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. It's like a dance at some point. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4.
8, 6, 7, 5.
No, I would take an 8. I would take a 6.
I
would take a 7.
I'm going with 3.
There's a 0.
Wins.
There's a 0 in there.
Missed opportunity, guys. If they win that game, which was well within their grasp, even though the game was horrible, even though it was awful to watch, it was ugly. You are a game out of first place in the division.
Oh, let's not even. Yeah, no. Let's not.
Not what?
Please. This was
talk about
they
that.
were up playing the worst team in football.
No, they're the worst team in football.
But ESPN, what are they going to have?
Whoa.
Well, they're in the conversation.
I mean, they're not as bad as the Panthers.
We got to play them.
They might be the second worst.
You bite your tongue.
We have to play. I don't want to hear one game out. Detroit got destroyed. We're not out of it.
I don't think that they're the worst team, but they're somewhere between 26 and 31.
Yes.
I think the Panthers have firmly put themselves in that 32 spot.
Could they beat Arizona in Arizona?
It'd be tough. That team plays with a lot of fight.
The Bears won.
I got a lot of detail. Yeah, with a
Baguette.
first time
Division II.
Is it Baguette or
No, it's Badgent.
No, it's not.
No, I believe it's pronounced baguettes.
Yes. Badgent
Shepherd
would be
College.
No, shepherd's pie.
Yeah, I love shepherd's pie.
I got a lot of little details here, guys, that are only going to make it worse and worse and worse.
Okay,
For one,
then you don't have to read it.
well, for one, they were coming off the bye. You're coming off the bye. If you're not a Green Bay Packers player and you didn't throw yourself into the playbook and make sure that on every single nuanced play you knew exactly where you were supposed to be, what the hell were you doing? Because there were still plays out there, guys. There were still plays out there where you got two receivers chewing up the same spot on a field.
I blame Chew.
Why?
They were probably listening to the show last week about how you innovated by running the wrong routes. They were trying to do the same thing.
Didn't work. How many yards did they have in the first half?
90, right?
No, so they got to 100 because of the draw they ran at the end of the half.
Oh,
that's right. The graphic was like 100 yards in the first half to the Broncos 200 yards, and then it flip-flopped, and they had 200 in the second half, and the Broncos had 90, if I'm remembering correctly. Broncos had lost 10 straight when they had a lead in the first half. That was the longest streak in the NFL. Now, Sean Payton took offense to that question afterwards. He was like, well, those weren't all over under me. Well, 3 of them were, buddy. Sure, yes, all of the 10 were not under you.
Yes.
But 3 had been. So the Packers get the honor of ending that streak for the Broncos.
So that's not good.
is Jordan Love not the guy? I'm trending in that direction.
I mean, I'm not going to render a verdict quite yet, but
I'm moving in that direction.
What makes you think he's not the guy? Is it just the downfield?
He can't even throw intermediate routes.
How do you know? They don't call any intermediate routes.
because they can't protect. I want to see him rip a throw.
Which then takes some of the shine off of his take, which is that he might not be the guy. If you can't protect, doesn't matter who's back there.
I cannot believe
but I just want to see him rip one throw.
The quarterback coach at this point in the season hasn't gone up to and said, I want you to just overthrow a guy. Just overthrow him.
Sure, yes.
Just overthrow him. Throw it as far as you can, even if it's 10 yards.
Really? On 3rd and 20, with the game on the line, when all you need is a field goal to win.
No, you know what?
But I mean,
you know what? Overthrow still would have been better because then you get 4th and 20.
Overthrow is better than the underthrow. Yeah, you get 4, and then you line up. You line up for right. What would that field goal have been, by the way? 74
yards.
You know what? I'll take it.
It's thin air up there in Denver.
Yeah, that's true.
Mile high.
That's
what they say.
I mean, the first half, LaFleur, I don't know what he's doing. Is the training wheel still on him?
I think
Are they telling him to check it down?
I think he looks at the roster and goes, I don't know what to do to make this roster successful in the NFL. I think that's why you're getting the non-answers that he's giving, because he doesn't want to throw anybody under the bus. He's never been that guy. And I think that you're getting a Matt LaFleur going, I'm going to take the blame here. I'm going to give kind of some bland answers because I don't know what to do with this roster.
Let's hear from Matt LaFleur, who yesterday was asked about that. Just about, hey, look, maybe it's not about wins and losses this season. Maybe it is simply about the progress y'all are making. Where do you see progress, Coach LaFleur?
How much progress do you feel you made over the bye week with maybe fixing some of those slow starts? And
Obviously, 0.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think it's been that way for the last month?
It's a great question.
That's it? That was the end of the clip? Did you just cut that prematurely?
No,
Did you just stop that clip? You could have kept going. He was going to say some stuff.
That's all he had.
That's all he had. That's not very confidence building, if I'm being honest.
Tell you who looked the best as a receiver yesterday?
Wicks.
Yeah, Dontavian.
I mean, Dobbs, where are you at?
I mean, the touchdown catch. The touchdown catch by Dobbs was good because he had to wrestle it away.
But it was a bad throw.
You got anything stronger than bad?
And the other one, another bad throw. Worked out great. I mean, this thing could have been very easily 19-3. Easily. Could have, who was that? Surtain?
Yeah.
Could have wrestled that away. There's that. And then the other one's tipped.
Well, I mean, they're lucky that Gene Steratore
wasn't on the field, just up in the booth. What the hell was that?
He was making things up as he went.
Gene Steratore. Well, he got his 2 feet down first,
so he had
possession, and ipso facto it should have been an interception. That was a weird adventure he took us on.
There's argument for one of the worst teams here.
Yeah, I think
it's more 28. I think 26 is being generous.
Well, I said it's just, I mean, there's a lot of bad teams.
The Bears beat the Raiders yesterday.
Yeah.
So the Raiders are bad, the Bears are bad,
yeah,
the Broncos are bad.
Yeah, I mean, they're all in the same
You talked about
pool.
the Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers are 32. They're somewhere between 26 and 31.
But they might be intentionally 32. Like, there's a difference between being 32 and wanting to be 32 because you're trying to improve your draft stock and you want to get that top pick, and not trying to be one of the worst teams and being one of the worst teams. That's worse.
The Panthers don't have their pick. I don't think they're tanking.
You don't think they are? I think at this point they are. At some point, right? Don't you go?
But they don't have their first round pick. They traded it. Belongs to the Chicago Bears.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that. Yeah, so you're saying they're actually trying?
Yes, I'm saying the Panthers are trying.
Yeah, but they have their quarterback now in Baguette. So they're not going to want a quarterback.
Bears?
Yes. Right?
What are we talking about here?
I mean, if they have to get one of these quarterbacks in the top of the draft, I'm saying fire everybody. Fire them all.
That's...
What?
It's a panic move.
Well, I mean...
How far up
it's
you going?
Complicated.
You going all the way up? Murphy's done in a year anyway. A year,
That's the problem.
2. Year, 2.
So you don't trust him?
So he has to retire in July of 25. So he's got the rest of this year, the rest of next year. He's got the off seasons as well.
But lame duck and whatnot. Hashtag lame duck.
So let's say they win 5 games and love is love. This is love for the rest of the way out. What are we doing?
This is love the rest of the way out.
Well, rest of the way out.
How are they winning 3 more games?
Chewy, I got a question for you, though. How much of the bad football do you blame on Love? Like, you just said he's not the guy. But you're also watching the play calling. You're also watching the route concepts. You're also watching the scheme. There's no way you're confident in those things. There's no way you're sitting there going, wow, that was a hell of a route scheme. Matt LaFleur called a great play there, and they just couldn't execute it. Jordan Love couldn't execute it. No, this is all bad. It stinks all across it's like when you have you ever have a fruit bowl and you got a bad peach, and the peach has a rotten spot? By the end of the day, everything in there's rotten because the rot just spreads from the peach to the apple to the banana to the orange. And that is not a hypothetical. That is something that actually happened.
You talking about a recent case of food poisoning you had there?
You put a little bit of beer down in a cup because you're going to have fruit flies. Am I right?
Sure, I guess. I was talking about the rot.
Yeah, but you got to get rid of the rot, and the way to get rid of the rot...
Throw it in the woods.
Throw it in the garbage? Take the garbage to the receptacle.
Once you sober up,
roll it out.
the way
So
to
I
get rid of the
guess
rot...
what we're doing here is we're actually confirming Chewy's theory, which is fire everybody.
Yes.
What does the beer have to do with anything?
It gets the fruit flies.
I thought you did like some sort of vinegar concoction.
Yeah. No, beer does it. And then you drink the beer.
With the fruit flies in it? No.
Protein.
You're a lunatic.
Oh, and by the way, it was the socks. Just want y'all to know. It was.
I missed that conversation.
Friday? Was that Friday?
That was Friday.
What was it?
The mystery?
Stinky?
I had bites all over my ankles.
Okay.
So there are things in Florida apparently called nuts. I was unaware of the no-see-ums. So there's these little bugs. They'll give you bites.
Yeah.
So Chewy was thinking that maybe it was that, but then he was worried it was bed bugs because he went to bed one night, didn't have the bites, woke up with the bites, but then they weren't biting Angie, so it probably wasn't bed bugs.
And then fleas.
And then, somebody suggested fleas on the talking text line.
But once again, Angie wasn't. Then we thought maybe crabs because the boys had a couple parties over there.
By we, I think you know who thought it might have been crabs.
Well, never mind.
But then I put a new pair of socks on, and
they went away. So wait,
Yeah.
were there bugs living in your socks?
I guess.
No, that's not the lesson.
It was a rash.
Oh.
Because the socks were dirty.
Yeah, you can't do that down there. Still do it here. It's fine.
No, man.
No.
Just wear a different pair of socks every day.
Yes, you're rich. You can afford it.
I don't have the space in my drawer.
You know what? Christmas.
Too
We're
much
going to all
underwear.
buy you some socks. That's what's going to happen,
Oh,
okay?
I know.
I'll get you a nice pair of Bombas. I love them, man. They're fantastic.
I'm not going to go that expensive because I like to keep my own money, but I will get you some socks maybe over at Target, and that way we can help you with the rotation, right? Working those in and out.
Sounds good.
All right, lots of other things that I saw yesterday, guys. The Packers hadn't scored 20 in 4 straight games. It's the first time since 2005. Anybody remember what the Packers' record was in 2005?
4-12.
4-12. Any chance they get to 4 and the math this year?
I thought they'd beat Minnesota, but with everyone banged up and coaching staff still in place, I'm probably going to pick Minnesota.
Here's what we have to reconcile this morning, okay? You guys have said all season long that this was going to be a process. This was going to be a roller coaster. There was going to be a learning curve. I'm just about out of hearing about how the team is young because at some point you're not young anymore. You're still young relatively to the rest of the league, but you're not young in the space anymore, right? You got some reps under your belt, okay? So you need to see that incremental improvement. You need to see that you're building off of last week, even if last week wasn't great. You're building off of it. You're looking better, and they haven't yet. So I'm working myself between overreacting to a bad loss, and that's what this was. When you lose to a bad team, it is a bad loss. When you could almost win against a bad team, and you don't, it's a bad loss. So I'm working between that and Chewy's blow it all up. Blow it all up, overreact. This team is not good. The coach doesn't know what he's doing. The GM probably hasn't given him the talent that he needs to win games in this league, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all the way up the charts. Where are you this morning? 800-990-3776. Maybe you've convinced yourself, hey, it's not going to be a good year. And there are going to be ups and downs. It's not linear. Or maybe you're going, I don't even want to talk about this team. Can we talk about something else?
When did the ups come? Like, there were 0 ups yesterday. 0.
Yeah, there was really nothing. Right?
Well, 2 touchdowns.
I mean, A.J. Dillon looked like he could be a backup in this league.
Oh, A.J. Dillon looked good.
Broke a tackle.
He looks like he could be a backup. That's the positive. That was the takeaway.
That's mine.
Yikes.
800-990-3776. We roll on reacting to the Packers' loss yesterday to the Denver Broncos. Final score 19-17.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have an accident on westbound 94 and the stadium interchange right about at the ramp to go northbound on 175. So heads up with that. Otherwise, southbound 43 slowing down from Hampton Avenue down past Keefe. Northbound is slow from just north of Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe as well. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, slight chance for showers and storms, partly cloudy otherwise, a high of 60. Then tonight, chance for showers, partly cloudy otherwise, a low of 55. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga. 94.5 ESPN.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
The future of joint pain relief is right here in Milwaukee. It's QC Kinetics, Advanced Regenerative Medicine. Hey, this is Brad Nortman. If you've been told that more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. I'm talking long-lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem, using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, or your back, and with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Listen, life is about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Call the local medical professionals and get a free consultation today. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Again, 414-285-3474.
If you're just tuning in, this is Fan 23, Fansville's #1 sports radio station.
Brought to you by Tasty Dr. Pepper.
We are settling the great debate, best third quarter snack, hot dogs or nachos?
You know my mantra, Doug.
Yes.
Meaty early, cheesy late.
Well, it looks like we have a caller here to weigh in. Is this Chuck?
Popcorn in the third is the move.
What?
You go with passive snacking after halftime.
No, it's nachos.
Look, as long as there's an ice cold Dr. Pepper there to wash it down, I'm good with either. Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
At the Home Depot, Saturdays are about two things. The one-of-a-kind wood-fired flavor of a Traeger Ironwood XL grill.
And football.
That's right, Desmond Howard. Get fired up for the game in just a tap with Traeger's intuitive touchscreen. Then throw on your favorites and monitor the grill from anywhere with Wi-Fi technology. So you spend less time staring at the grill.
Which means more time for football.
For football. Upgrade your Saturday with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
He hates the ending of all comedies. Apparently doesn't like happy endings.
I love happy endings. Don't take it that far.
Muy
bueno.
Maybe that's a vote for Groundhog Day for you.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here's what I know for certain right now. It's a bad football team. Can they get better? Can they improve? Certainly. I'm not writing that off. I'm not saying that's not a possibility to still happen as the season goes on, but right now they are bad. And when you're watching, you see shades of bad all over the place. I don't think it is exclusive to the quarterback and his inability to complete the deep ball. I think that the play calling has been bad. Now, are you guys of the belief that the only reason they're calling those short yardage, the screens and the slants and all that stuff is because they're trying to build confidence in Jordan Love? Is that like the age-old, get a couple completions under your belt and then we'll open things up?
Yeah, hit a couple layups, then work your way back. Yeah, I think that was clearly part of the game plan yesterday, try to get the ball to different players in space. And, I mean, part of their issue the last few weeks has been making sure Jordan Love stays clean. Now, that wasn't the issue yesterday.
Not at all.
Offensive line played pretty solid, but against the Raiders, against the Lions, it was tough to keep Jordan Love clean, so you had to get the ball out of Jordan Love's hands quickly. I think that was certainly part of the plan going into yesterday's game, and the problem is, on the outside, okay, so you do that, all right, you have to then be able to make plays. If you're a wide receiver, if you're a tight end, whoever you are catching that ball, you just can't go down right away.
Yeah.
You gotta find ways to be better at, and a lot of people were making jokes about it after, I can't remember who the sideline reporter for CBS was yesterday, after she said
Melanie
she talked
Collins.
to Matt LaFleur, that he said after, at halftime, we have to be better at breaking tackles. So clearly part of the game plan was to get the ball out of Jordan. Well, yeah, so it was get the ball out of Jordan Love's hands. Now you have to make a play.
The problem also is when you can't throw deep or you've shown you cannot throw deep, defenders sit on routes because there's no threat of anything over the top.
Yeah.
And that's why it blows my mind why Clemens just hasn't said, overthrow everybody. That can't get picked up.
He may have.
Throw him open. That's the thing. You don't see a receiver, he's open, and then you throw it. You throw him open.
There's no intermediate
route.
That's because those take a little bit more time. I don't think they can protect Love, right? So, and the other thing is, like, those intermediate routes, anticipation. I haven't seen the anticipation from Jordan Love, where he's like, like you said, throwing somebody open, getting the ball out, getting it on a line as the guy's coming out of his break.
I mean, I watched a little of Atlanta, Tampa Bay yesterday. Desmond Ritter's better than Love. He's better than him. He is. He's more instinctual. He sees the field better, and he's not great. But that's why I'm trending towards Love might not be the guy. This is 4 games in a row of blah. And at some point, you got to do something. He's shown flashes with his feet and stuff like that. But like Jason, I go back to what Jason said. There's no throws that are like, wow.
But what is the biggest difference, Chew, between weeks 1 and 2? And again, I know you're going to throw the Bears in my face from a competition standpoint, but are the Bears worse than the Broncos? It's a pick-em.
Yeah,
right?
It's a pick-em. But like I said, in the beginning of the year, you can scheme things open because they had no idea what Jordan Love's stamp is going to be on this offense.
But but that game was so vastly different. That game felt different. That game felt like, oh, we got a guy. We got a guy who can make plays against a bad team. What was the difference yesterday against a bad team? Right? I think you could exchange the uniforms, Bears for Broncos. I mean, I know Jordan Love runs a little bit more, right? He can do more with his feet than Russell Wilson can at this stage of the game. But for the most part, it should have been a comparable game plan.
Yeah. I just don't think at this point in the season, your players like Dobbs and Musgrave, you got to win one-on-one against your opponent because they kind of know what you're doing. Like I said, and I'll say it again and again, there's no 30 new plays that they're going to add against the Vikings. You just switch it up formation, like, all right.
No, there were a couple of times yesterday again where guys are just standing in the same spot.
Yeah. Well, that's coaching. Holmgren would never. I don't care who the hell you were. If you don't know the playbook, then I can't play you. If you drop the ball, I can't play you. And that's why I thought Wicks looked the most explosive yesterday. Did a nice job finding windows.
There's one play.
No, he had a couple there.
He had one catch.
Must have been watching a different game.
Which again, and then he had.
In my defense, this game can lull you to sleep on how painful it was.
It was painful. I agree with you on that. But the Broncos were allowing a league high 33 points per game. 33 points per game.
Yep.
The Packers managed 17.
And
less than half of that.
It was a lucky 17.
It was a horseshoe up the hinder 17.
Yeah. I mean,
everything's bad. And Jen, you said that you think that it can get better.
No, I'm saying there's a possibility. You're saying there isn't.
I'm not.
Put that on the poll.
How?
But
can the Packers get better this season? Yes or no?
I'd like to think yes, but
it can't get worse.
I can't. At the beginning of the year, when I said 6-7 wins, I also said that this team, but it's going to be fun. This is going to be a young, fun team.
Nope.
It's painful to watch this team. Nothing is easy.
Yeah.
Every yard they gain offensively is like pulling teeth.
Mm-hmm.
It is just so bleeping hard for this team to get anything going. There's just no easy completions. There's no easy yards.
And we haven't even had the Aaron Jones conversation yet, which I want to get to as well, guys, because Aaron Jones back out there. When Aaron Jones touches the ball, it's the same as it ever was. He's explosive. He chews up yardage. He gets you first downs, right? Did a couple of first down celebrations out there with the hand above. First down, right? But then he only had 11 touches. 11 touches for 58 yards. I saw Ben Kurt tweet out, if you are healthy enough for 11 touches, you're healthy enough for 20. What are they waiting for? What's the hope? We'll only give Aaron Jones 11 touches in this game, and hopefully we can give him 15 in the next game, and then maybe 17 in the following game. No! He's your most explosive, most productive weapon on offense. Give him the ball. Continue giving him the ball.
But I guess I don't know. So, Chewy, when a player's on a pitch count, is that coming from the coaching staff or is that coming from the training staff?
Both.
Because I
would say more the training staff because coaches don't want their guys on a pitch count.
Yeah. Because that's what it was they mentioned it a number of times during the broadcast yesterday on CBS, that he was on a pitch count.
Yeah. No, that's the training staff.
So that's the training staff.
I don't know. Is this team soft?
Off a bye. Missing the previous
totally
game.
Agree.
But I mean, either your hamstring's healthy or it's not healthy, right? Like if it's not quite healthy and they still want him out there, then you're on the pitch count.
I guess, look, and again, Aaron Rodgers is going to probably play this year after rupturing his Achilles.
And he's not going to.
What are we doing that we can't get Aaron Jones healthy 3 weeks? 3 weeks later. What's happening here?
Well, I'm telling you, the more you lose, too, the more guys are like, I said, you're on a good team. I'm coming back at 87%.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't. We're on a run here. I'm playing. My back hurts. So what? I'll give you what I got. You keep losing. It's like, I'm going to wait till I'm about 98%.
Wait till you feel really good.
That's what happens.
You think that's happening here? Maybe.
I mean, it's also. I mean,
I'm back.
I was going to say, no one can see your shrug.
I've had a bad back my whole career.
Yeah.
I'd have to put the icy hot on it before every practice and every game.
Placebo.
No, I took real Toradol.
I know. It's fine. Don't worry.
It's like, geez, come on. Just play.
So wait, you took Toradol and then you rubbed the icy hot on it?
Yeah, you had to do it all. Had to get right.
Why?
That's topical.
I mean, the Toradol is going to take care of it.
Yeah,
icy hot feels good.
It creates a sensation and it takes the pain. It changes the pain receptors. Is what it does.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there's a different sensation that your brain is processing as opposed to the pain. Let's go out to the call. Oh, he just dropped. I was just about to get to my guy Dan, who's waiting patiently on the line. So let's go out to Alan in Milwaukee. Alan has a take.
Oh, what? Oh, a take. I thought you said a cake.
If you got that too, bring it in.
Hey, you know what? We're taking all things this morning. Anything to make us feel better.
Yeah. So, Jen, I know you love movie analogies, so I got one for you if you're up for it.
Always.
So, Back to the Future 3, Doc Brown's name ends up on a tombstone, and Marty McFly takes a picture of it, and he goes back in time, and he intervenes. And then his name starts to become on the tombstone. So in the analogy, it's like Joe Barry Carroll is Doc Brown and Marty McFly ends up being Matt LaFleur.
Love
because I thought the whole time the defense was the problem, and so did Packer Nation. And now when you look back at the 6 games or however many games they played so far, the defense has kind of held up their end of the donkey. They've allowed like 20 points or less, I think 4 or 5 times. And I think any other team or any coach or offensive coordinator, if you ask them to sign up for, only giving up 20 points, they take it in a heartbeat. So this is where that whole proximity to genius thing, getting somebody a job, starts to come into question.
It's a great take. I love it, Alan. It's really good. It's really strong. I love the idea of Doc Brown's name on the tombstone, and now it's Marty McFly's name on the tombstone. Everybody's been calling for Joe Barry's head. And maybe Matt LaFleur's resistance to firing Joe Barry has now got his name on the tombstone. Because I think there's a lot of questions out there about his play calling ability. I think there's a lot of questions. Talent be damned. Like, I watch teams that have bad talent still are able to get guys open, still are able to run right routes, still are able to. You cannot keep calling for the at the line of scrimmage. The Packers are the 3rd worst team in the league at yards after the catch. What in the world, Matt LaFleur, makes you think if you draw up a play where he's throwing to under the chains, short of the chains, they're going to be able to hustle for those last few yards? They haven't shown that. Not once.
That's also the sign of a bad roster.
I don't think I've ever heard a coach say that. Well, I thought we'd break more tackles.
But, I mean, it's also a sign of a bad roster. Like, if you're not able to break tackles, I have zero confidence in your ability to be able to run good, crisp routes that are going to get you open. Like, those things go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Literally everything is bad right now. And that's part of the problem. Like, I don't have any, again, on the route to 6 to 7 wins, I thought there would be good things to point to. Like, there's
nothing. Yeah.
There's not like, oh, I see this. You start building on this. Now you got something going. I don't see any of that.
I mean, 4 consecutive games with 0 points in the first half.
6
against who?
So they've kicked field goals in the first half of a couple of those games.
Okay.
They haven't scored a touchdown. But yeah, it's, I believe, 6 points.
To me, it's like
5 games now.
LaFleur thought this roster or season would go in a different direction. It's as if now he has no idea what to do.
Oh, 100%.
Like, no idea. I got to play the right guard at quarterback. What is the best play for the right guard at quarterback?
But
It's
also-
like he has no.
Again, there's so much stuff out there on film. Just steal a couple of plays from somebody else who has a mediocre roster.
Wait, they can't run their own plays. You can just steal plays from other places.
I'm just saying, if you're watching the Falcons, you go, hey, somehow they were able to move the chains, get those guys. When you looked at that Falcons roster, were you like, oh, loaded with talent? No, bunch of average guys out there, average Joes.
They're starting to look a little like Miami.
They got Bijan.
Right.
I'm watching Kyle Pitts streak down the field.
Well, Kyle
right now.
Pitts. Well,
Drake
London. Those guys. Those are young guys, though. Those are young guys.
Yeah, young guys with hot. And again,
Is it good?
Yeah, they're good. That's who do you have confidence in that is going to grow and be a stud offensively?
Yeah, it's like the two receivers. I don't know where I'm at with Watson.
Jaden Reed. Boom. Yes. I am.
Hopefully.
Get my microphone off when I slam the table down emphatically. Jaden Reed, I have confidence he will be a good receiver in this league. I think he'll be a great receiver in the league. I think he could be great. Look, I watched him at Michigan State. He was explosive.
Mm-hmm.
He was a guy that you would run your offense through. They haven't done that yet in Green Bay. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Lots to still get to this morning. You asked something a moment ago, and I want to bring it back around. Plus, we've got callers on the line. Mo in Illinois, you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy as soon as we get back on the other side of this break. Get pumped up, guys. Potawatomi Casino Hotel is bringing 24/7 sports betting to the great city of Milwaukee with the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We went to Potawatomi on Saturday night. Not only did I win $900 on a slot machine, but I also put a little wager down on your NFL team. There it is. I did. It was just for who would score the first Packers touchdown. Romeo Doubs. I put $5 on it. Walked away with 90. So that's not bad. And you can do the same if you go to the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Enjoy the convenience of a self-service kiosk, odds boards, wall-to-wall TVs, free parking, great food, and a full-service bar. Oh, I get it. You thought I bet on the outcome of the game and then I jinxed the game. Yeah, that didn't happen. I don't do that anymore.
I think you're getting anywhere near.
Yeah.
Just
the old
even,
kiosk?
No prop bets.
Just get in the proximity of the kiosk.
Well, I mean, pick other games. Just stay away from, our team.
Put your game face on, Milwaukee. It is time to bet big and bet bold like I did this weekend at the Potawatomi Sportsbook at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have one accident on westbound 94 right in the stadium interchange, out of traffic on the right, so just watch out for that. Otherwise, your usual delays on 43. The northbound side slowing from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keefe. Southbound is slow just about from Hampton all the way down past Locust, but for the most part, everything else is looking okay. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net. That's NEAL group.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, slight chance for showers and storms, partly cloudy with a high of 60. Tonight, chance of showers, partly cloudy otherwise with a low of 55. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Is your business looking for localized banking solutions? Fifth Third Bank has been looking forward to the future and helping businesses shape what's next for 165 years. And for the last 14 here in Milwaukee, they offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making capabilities, and extensive experience to help your business succeed. Fifth Third is big enough to provide sophisticated solutions and expert guidance, but also empowered to make local decisions and work from a foundation of strong community connections. Commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC. Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You have undoubtedly heard me talking about Mentality by now, and its greatness. But don't just take it from me. Hear my pal Jason talk about what Mentality has done for him.
I realized that, Father Time is undefeated, and missed the feeling of being in my 20s again. I was like, what the heck, why not? Got to give it a try. This is the one shot that we have, so I want to feel like that spring chicken again. So I went to Mentality, and it's been an amazing experience ever since. My only thing that I wish I could change is that I went sooner.
Get started today at LoTUSA.com.
If you're like most people, you've had your fair share of financial questions. Questions like, can I afford my son's travel hockey team? What if my daughter doesn't get that soccer scholarship? Will I be able to enjoy golf in retirement? At Empower, we know these questions can be stressful. We're here to help answer your what ifs and empower what's next. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future. Start today at empower.com.
Today, football is a game of sound. What if you couldn't hear your coach's play calls? What if you couldn't hear the referee's whistle? For deaf and hard of hearing athletes like me, these what ifs are a reality. But with the AT&T 5G helmet, now we can see play calls just like the other teams hear them.
Connect the player, change the game. Learn more at att.com/5G helmet. Connecting changes everything. AT&T. AT&T is a proud supporter of the Gallaudet Bison. AT&T 5G helmet not for sale.
Sharp Literacy's A Novel event is coming. Join Sharp Literacy and special guest A.J. Dillon on Monday, November 6th at the Eagles Ballroom for a night of conversation, an auction, awards, and a variety of food stations. The Green Bay running back is also the author of Quadzilla Finds His Footing, an uplifting children's book about perseverance. Funds raised at A Novel event will support Sharp's STEAM-based education programs in the state. For tickets and information, visit sharpliteracy.org. A Novel event, Monday, November 6th at the Eagles Ballroom.
If you're shopping for a new vehicle, don't miss Ewald Automotive's Model Year Closeout Sales Event. Save on remaining 2023s and get the lowest prices of the year. Shop over 400 new vehicles with savings up to $10,000. All backed by our low price guarantee and exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. 11 brands, 10 locations, one easy experience. Go to EwaldAuto.com.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
The other side of the world, and I'll let you know if I want to come back and coach your little game.
He's Jay Peterman.
Ian Rappaport tweeting yesterday, and I thought this was interesting. The Broncos the last 2 weeks. You guys done?
I got more.
On 94.5 ESPN.
You know, as a play caller, I feel total 100% responsible for when it's not working. So, obviously, very disappointed with just the whole process.
Brett and Eau Claire weighing in on our ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line saying, I think the coaching staff needs to go. Matt LaFleur is not the answer to this system or lack thereof. We are seeing some heat being put on Matt LaFleur. Because, again, the question was always, is this guy a really good coach, or did he always just benefit from Aaron Rodgers being under center and audibling out of some of his plays? It is starting to feel like Rodgers deserves more credit for keeping that offense afloat. Now, that could also be a snap reaction, right? Could be just a prisoner of the moment type of thing as well. But I don't think people are egregious in wondering about Matt LaFleur. Somebody said yesterday, we got the runt of the litter. Somebody said that to me yesterday. And they were talking about the Shanahans and my brain is stopping on me, but Sean McVay and McDaniel?
Yeah,
No.
Mike McDaniel.
Down there in Florida. For some reason, I was thinking Josh McDaniel. And I know it's not him, obviously.
Although Mike also had a meltdown on Twitter last night.
All right, looking forward to seeing that. Let's go out to Mo in Illinois. Mo, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Appreciate the patience. Want to hear what you think this morning.
Good morning. I think I've made my stance pretty clear since the offseason about Matt LaFleur and how I have no belief in him, and I believe Aaron Rodgers covered up a lot for LaFleur. But disregarding that, I was able to kind of digest the game yesterday and watch some film. And honestly, the first half, just watching it live, it was obviously slow death for a lot of us Packers fans. It was very rough to watch. Actually, the past, 4 games, it's been ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I do want to put, some blame on our players. And I'm not one to always just blame coaching. I know coaching is a very big part of this whole ordeal, especially with LaFleur. But especially defensively, did anybody hear Kenny Clark or Preston Smith's name yesterday? I didn't. Other than Preston Smith's late sack on Wilson, I didn't hear from them at all the whole game. And when you have a young team, these veterans need to step up and play and do their part. And I haven't seen that this year, the past few games, defensively and offensively. So it's been very disappointing. And Aaron Jones' continuous underutilization is literally coaching malpractice. How long have we been talking about this? I mean, this is going back from the Mike McCarthy days, but Matt LaFleur should know better. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. I'm getting so annoyed talking about Aaron Jones needs the ball more. Aaron Jones needs the ball more. At some point, LaFleur's got to stop saying the same old cliche after the game and just do it. Just do it, like Nike said. We're tired of the excuses, man. That's all I got to say.
Mo, we appreciate the passion and we appreciate the call. Thanks for calling in. Call in anytime. 800-990-3776. I believe there was a fade route. I don't even remember when it was. It must have been in the second half. Maybe it wasn't the second half. Doesn't matter. Point is, at that point, Jordan Love went to Romeo Doubs on a fade route when I remember Aaron Jones being open. And to me, it was like, I understand wanting to move the ball downfield, right? We're talking about the chicken or the egg here, right? Because you're trying to get the team to bite on the play action, so you have to at some point complete those plays downfield so that they actually respect that portion of your offense. But Aaron Jones is wide open. Aaron Jones is wide open on that play, and it feels like Aaron Jones is the one guy on this team who actually can get yards after the catch, who actually can scramble for a few more. And it just didn't go to him there. So there were times where I was like, well, at least Jordan Love is making the right read. It's about executing, and sometimes that falls on the receivers as well. But that was an instance where I was like, right there, Aaron Jones. That's a first down. Go to Aaron Jones. Why are we ignoring this guy on the field again?
Well, we don't know where he is in the progression.
True,
it's not like
true.
you can bail and go, oh, he's not there. Where's Aaron? That's Brett and Sterling. It worked.
So what are you saying? They shouldn't do it or they should do it?
No, you just don't know, like I said, where he's at in the progression. Dobbs, to me, so far has been a disappointment.
Pedestrian.
I thought he'd be the guy that, like I said, 6, 7, 8 catches a game for 90 yards for 110. It's nice that they spread the ball around.
No, it's not. Not when you look at what the spread around numbers are. If everybody
the spread around numbers are terrible.
It's great. Spread around numbers are great when one guy's got like 8,
yeah.
Another guy's got 6, and a bunch of guys have 4. When everybody has 2, that's not really spreading the ball around.
Spreading around reminds me of when the Packers used to go 5 wide, when they had that very famous Sports Illustrated. It was Sports Illustrated, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Cover with all of those weapons. Yeah, spread that crap around. Spread it all around. Let everybody get their catches. But in this instance, I think you need to develop one guy as your go-to.
And I thought that would be Dobbs. I'm kind of resigned to the fact now that Watson is your trick pony. He's not a great route runner.
And then
can
he got
run.
hurt yesterday, too.
And he got hurt again, so here we go. So Dobbs, to me, is probably, to date, been the biggest disappointment. And, hey, look, put someone in there that's going to win one-on-one matchups. I like Wicks. Give him a shot. Give some of these other guys a shot. These guys got to know that there's heat on them, right? I mean, I thought A.J. Dillon played probably his best game of the year, probably because he feels heat on him.
But the problem with A.J. Dillon playing well, it just doesn't matter.
I agree.
The entire season matters if Jordan Love is the guy going forward.
Yeah.
So a guy who's probably not going to be on the roster next year, and if he is, he's the backup running back. It just doesn't. I mean, good for AJ. Good for him personally. But in terms of what this team is, like A.J. Dillon having a decent game and looking a little bit more like the A.J. Dillon we thought he could be just doesn't do much for me.
I think we should put that on the poll. Is Jordan Love the guy? Question mark.
And, we were talking about pitch counts earlier. At least from my day, the player has to be on board with being on a pitch count. If they put me on a pitch count and I don't think I need to be on a pitch count, I'd say, I'm not on a pitch count. Don't put me on a pitch count. So just don't discount the fact that took a pay cut. Chances are he's not going to be here next year. I mean, when you lose, man, it gets toxic. It gets bad. You have to fight that,
Look, remember when we used to see his brother tweeting? Alvin, I believe, right? He was tweeting. He'd be like, why won't they use him? I always feel like, not in every case, but in most cases, they're in lockstep. The brother knows that he wants to play. Regardless of the injuries, regardless of whatever percentage he is, 87, 90, whatever we're trying to guess Aaron Jones might be at this stage of the game. I think the guy wants to play. And I think every time he emphatically signals first down, it's another indication to the coaching staff, like, look what I did again, guys. In a shocking development, I was able to move the chains. Maybe, I don't know, don't want to go all crazy here, but maybe we do that a little bit more. Like, that's the way I read those gestures and those reactions. Like, he knows he's the straw that stirs this offensive drink, and he doesn't understand why he's not getting more burn.
It's still a bad drink then.
Well, someone should flat out ask flipping LaFleur, is he on a pitch count or not? Is he on and what's the pitch count? His hamstring isn't 100% because it looks pretty much 100% to me.
Did he look that good?
He's explosive.
He had one play where he looked a little explosive.
To
but
me,
that
he
was
seemed like a guy who was hampered by a hamstring still.
Yeah.
Really?
He
I
didn't
thought he
look-
was pretty
There was
explosive.
the one play that he
Where
kind
he
of
cut it back
Where he cut
inside?
it back inside. But other than that, it
Yeah,
was
it was-
pretty pedestrian. Other than the one play.
Yeah, but if they're just going to keep losing games, what the hell you need to be on a pitch count for? All right,
No, because they want him available for some play. I don't know. I don't know, man. You tell me, as the former
because
player.
we're going to make the playoffs. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, but again, it's all about growing. And when you don't have any players you can trust with the football, you want him out there. Is it better not to have him at all? Or is it better to have him for the 11 touches?
I would make the argument it's better not to have him at all if it's going to lead to the development of someone else, but I haven't seen any evidence of that. I haven't seen any evidence that when Aaron Jones isn't on the field, somebody else who could be the guy going forward, I mean, maybe Wilson, who got a little bit of run yesterday, like, I haven't seen anybody who has been like, oh, well, I'm okay with Aaron Jones taking another week off because we have so-and-so and such who could do the job. They don't have that.
But are we at the point where we're blinded because we live here and it's our team that, these guys are better than they actually
100%.
are?
100%.
Well, then that would be a Goody thing. Then it would be a Goody
100%.
overthinking the draft, overthinking that he's the one who's, like me when I draft, like, I'm going to surprise everybody. Look at this sleeper I'm nabbing from a school we covered on game day or I did a
Yeah.
story on, and nobody knows that this guy is going to be a game changer, difference maker. Sometimes it does feel like going and grabbing these guys from these small schools repeatedly at the skill positions is overthinking things. Because George Pickens was right there, right? And we had all those conversations about, well, is he a malcontent? Does he have some off the field issues and whatnot? I mean, the dude can catch the ball.
But someone brought up, who's the D lineman? Kenny Clark.
Yeah.
He's a nice player.
He's a solid player.
all. He's a nice player.
He's a fringe Pro Bowler. Like, if he has a good year, he'll make the Pro Bowl. If not, he's just, he's
but
solid.
people think he's better than he actually is.
Probably. But I mean, that's what happens when you
they
have
played
bad teams.
a bad team. They played a horrible team. They played a 1-5 team.
So then does the question become, are they the type of team that plays down or up to their competition?
No, because the one time they played a good team, they got boat raced.
Smoked.
Maybe not up to, but I could maybe make an argument for down to.
No,
because I don't think they're this bad. I don't think across the board they're this bad. Yesterday was why?
What evidence exists that they're not this bad?
Because Jordan Love in the first 2 games of the season was actually completing good balls.
But again, like, I think you can point to a lot of players. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick had 4 or 5 game stretches. Then he would have 4 or 5 game stretches where he was terrible, right? And that's why he was kind of this career journeyman and backup. So a lot of people can put together 2 good games. So that's 7 good quarters, right? So now we have evidence of 7 good quarters from Jordan Love because he did not complete a pass in the 4th quarter of game 2. Since then, what are we on now? So we're comparing 7 good quarters to 17 bad quarters.
Yeah,
there's more
Jen,
evidence.
It's really going the other way.
100%. No, I won't disagree with you. I don't doubt that for 1 second. My issue is, if he was able to do it the first 2 weeks, it's in there. It feels to me, and I don't want to admit to this, it feels to me like collectively the confidence of this team is just tanking. Like, nobody believes in anything they're doing at this point. And I'm not sure that the way Matt LaFleur is calling these games is doing his young quarterback any favors, Gabe.
Of course, there's something in there. He was a first-round pick. There's something in every first-round pick. It's a matter, can you pull that out of yourself week in and week out, or on a more consistent basis than what we've seen? Like, I mean, again, the laundry list is long of quarterbacks who have had a good
flash, like RG3. I mean, they thought he was going to be.
But then he got hurt. He got injured.
The knee was certainly something big for him. But even, I mean, again, now like Jets fans trying to talk themselves into Zach Wilson again right now. Like, Zach Wilson isn't any good.
No. Mitch Trubisky threw 6 touchdown passes.
Yeah,
in the game.
Mitch Trubisky led the Bears to the playoffs.
Playoffs,
Mora. I just want to win a game. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We will continue discussing this. Is Jordan Love the guy? And again, we don't want to be the up and down and having visceral reactions and overreacting to one little detail. But the sample size is starting to grow here, guys. And I don't know how much of the blame is on Jordan. I don't know how much of the blame. I don't know how to carve up the pie. I don't know how to cut the pie right now. And that in and of itself is frustrating. Maybe even more frustrating than the loss yesterday to the Broncos. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy after this.
Get ready for the new season with us, Milwaukee. It's NBA tip-off week here on 94.5 ESPN. It's presented by our friends at the Jewelry Center. While Milwaukee goes for their ring, you can shop for your next ring. Visit any of their 3 locations in Greenfield, Brookfield, or in Burlington. Or, of course, you can shop online at shoptjc.com.
Full show podcasts, interviews, and special content is available right now at WisconsinOnDemand.com. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on 94.5 ESPN.
Klein tools are new at Lowe's, pros. Lowe's knows you want top brands and quality products, and Klein Tools delivers. Right now, get the Klein 3-piece ModBox mobile workstation for $319.94 and the Klein 5-piece cushion grip screwdriver set for just $34.97, both exclusively at Lowe's. Shop the largest selection of Klein tools, the highest quality tool brand at Lowe's. Because Lowe's knows tools, Lowe's knows pros.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Bucks basketball is back. A new era tips off with Coach Griffin at the helm, alongside returning favorites and exciting new additions. It's Dame time, Milwaukee. Don't miss a moment of the action. From the electrifying slam dunks to the roar of 18,000 fans, all unfolding live at Fiserv Forum. Secure your seats now. Visit bucks.com/tickets and join us for an unforgettable season of Bucks basketball. There's a seat waiting for you at Fiserv Forum. Secure yours now at bucks.com/tickets.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we've helped hunters gear up for the season for over 6 decades. So as you prep for this year's hunt, shop unbeatable deals on supplies to make your trip successful. Like a 17-foot Big Game Warrior DXT ladder stand, only $129.99. Get $80 instant savings on any set of 4 Michelin or BF Goodrich tires, or $30 instant savings on 2. And for rewards members, assorted Kurgo dog sweaters and jackets are 10% off.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. The Saganiac Planning Marquette Conference Championship moment last season. Big East regular season outright champs, a Marquette first ever. There's more at Marquette first ever Big East Conference tourney champs. St. John's, UConn, and Xavier all went down. The championship game was a blowout win. Add one more level of greatness. The win over UConn in the semis, UConn's last loss of the season. 2023 Marquette in the Big East won everything. Champions.
Homer here. After a year of uncertainty, most employers are reluctant to make changes to their health insurance plans. A level funding medical insurance plan may be the answer you've been looking for. Find out how a level funding plan can cut your costs. Again, level funding plan. For more information, call John Pearson at Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. John Pearson, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, and synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust. Men can be their own worst critics, especially as we get older and compare our current self to the younger version. The experts at Forward Healthy Lifestyles in Germantown help men with testosterone optimization, regenerative medicines, heart health screenings, weight loss, and yes, sexual enhancement services. Forward Healthy Lifestyles can offer regained energy and endurance, more muscle and tone, enhanced performance, joint therapies, and more. Change your life and stop comparing who you are now to who you used to be. Visit forwardhealthylifestyles.com for a free consultation.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
A freaking catapult attached to his right hip. Like, I just made that up. A catapult.
That was good.
I kind of liked it. I was rolling with it, Rob.
Like a slingshot? Let's use this out.
I'm calling old catapult leg from here on out.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Reaction rolling in hot and heavy on the ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line. We will continue reading your reaction as the show goes on this morning. We did put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll. Can the Packers get better this season? And you can answer yes or no. Can they get better? Right? And I think that they can get better. All you need to show is incremental improvement in some areas. Not all of the areas, just some of them. And I'm almost even talking exclusively offensively. Jordan Love and company. But I got an interesting reaction here from Bob the Badger guy. The better question is, do you want the Packers to get better? Because they obviously aren't a contender no matter how much improvement they've shown. So wouldn't draft capital be your best outcome this season? I suppose that also assumes you think that Goody could make a good first-round pick, which I personally doubt. Let's dive into that when we get back here. Because if you are in on the Team T, Team Tank, Team Trade, do you believe that Goody and company can do something good with that? We'll dive into that right after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Before we do that, guys, have you tried Celsius energy drink yet? Today's one of those mornings where I could really use a Celsius. Feeling a little sluggish, feeling a little sad, feeling a little low after yesterday's outcome. Celsius? Well, that'll help. You can find Celsius at your local retailer. Stay active and energized all day long with Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, a couple of issues going on. First of all, on southbound 94, right about at Ryan Road, off on the left shoulder, an accident there. Another one on northbound 894 at Oklahoma Avenue has the left lane blocked, so backups stretch all the way through the Hale interchange in all directions. And then we've got our other accident on westbound 94 as you're making your way through the stadium interchange on the right shoulder. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, slight chance for showers or storms and partly cloudy, a high of 60. Tonight, chance for showers. Partly cloudy otherwise, a low of 55. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Q Club of Wisconsin is a hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what do you have going on over there?
That's right, Gary. We've got so much going on here. And of course, you know we're your home for green and gold games every week. Plus, book our VIP area for any of your parties, which includes a private pool table, 2 shuffleboard tables, and 4 dartboards. And of course, our fish fry piled high on Wednesdays and Fridays.
All happening at the Q Club of Wisconsin, North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Check out QClubofWisconsin.com.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Milwaukee's Fiserv Forum, 6:45 this Friday. You'll see the greatest of all time, John Cena. Get some! Undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns, United States Champion Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Charlotte Flair, the almighty Bobby Lashley, the Brawling Brutes, Solo Sikoa, the Street Profits, and many more in action. Tickets start at $20 at Ticketmaster.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
There's a lot of things to take away. Offensively, it just comes down to execution. I think we just got to have more urgency to start the game.
3rd down 4. Here goes Russ. He's got him. Touchdown. Sutton. And they beat Douglas.
We got to find a way to just put up points. We just got to find a way to be better, honestly.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Fake to Dillon. Blocked by Musgrave. He's got him. And it's caught at the same time. Dobbs. Tie goes to the offensive player. It's a touchdown. Love. Sidearm through the hands of Dobbs. Caught by Reed. Oh my goodness. On the ricochet. Caught by Reed.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Yeah, I think it's a true test to all of us.
52-yard field goal for the lead. It is good. Tom with the block, going deep and looking. It's intercepted. It's picked off by Locke.
You know, as a play caller, I feel total 100% responsible for when it's not working.
Clock at 1 and 0's on the clock. They've called the game. That's all she wrote.
It is extremely frustrating.
We just got to find a way to be better, honestly.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
Taking your reaction all morning long to a Packers loss, a bad loss. Game they should have won, no questions asked. But maybe you have a game like this and you start going, should we be T-wording? Should we be tanking? Trading assets? moving up the old draft board. Joshy, at last check this morning, where are the Packers on the draft board right now?
The Packers are currently 7th in the 2024 NFL draft. They are behind the Broncos, who just beat them only because the Broncos have played one more game.
Now, are we changing our tune on the whole tank thing? I know here in Wisconsin, we've been lucky that the team has been good, great, elite, good, great, good. Are we changing our tune on the whole tank process in the NFL? Because it does seem like it can be a path to future sustained success.
I'm not a tank guy.
No.
I don't think you should ever tank.
I would agree.
I think you just focus on this team getting better with what you have, get to the end of the season, and make decisions. I still think, I agree with you. You got to stop using youth as an excuse at some point in time, but you still got to give these guys time to grow. And I don't know if I'm including Jordan Love in that, because a fourth-year pro, you kind of know what you have there. And these last 4 games are not trending well. There's just nothing, like you said, Gabe. What was the best play of the game yesterday? Offensive, defensively, a tipped ball in the end zone,
I just want
and
to
your
throw
other
this out there.
receiver catches it?
I asked Gabe what the worst play of yesterday was, and I gave him the options of the missed field goal, because they lost by 2. So we can't. We have to at least put a spotlight on the 43-yard miss.
Do I get credit for that or no?
What, missing the field goal?
For what?
I said in the beginning of the year, the guy's going to cost a game or 2.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean,
Just give it to me.
the
That's
field goal
fine.
missed.
I have
You know
no
what I'm saying?
problem.
Like if they would have gotten field goal range at the end there, and then he missed.
You're
credit greedy. You're getting credit greedy.
So you're saying that's a stretch?
So, yes. So that was one option I gave Gabe. Then I said, what about the holding call on Jenkins that took him out of the edge of field goal range, as all they needed was the field goal to win the game? And then I said the interception at the end of the game where he underthrew the receiver, who was clearly at that point double covered.
Yeah.
And Gabe said none of those were the worst play of the game, Gabe.
No, it was the touchdowns. Because if you look at the box score, it just gives you false. Oh, Jordan, two touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Like, that's not bad. No. Like, the first touchdown, hell of a play by Romeo, because he was able to wrestle away. Like, the one thing that Romeo has is these incredibly strong hands. His hands are fantastic. Whether or not he figures the rest out remains to be seen, but that was a great play by Romeo to save a horrific throw. Like, so much room to the sideline and the back of the end zone.
For activities, if you will.
and you throw it to the one spot where the corner who was beaten badly can make a play on it. And then the next touchdown is just a fluke. Just decided to rifle it. The one time that Jordan Love tries to drive a ball in somewhere, it's when a guy's 2 feet in front of him and just tries to rifle one at Romeo Dobbs, and it ends up
and those hands that you just gave all of the credit to, right off.
Which was a bad throw. It was way behind him.
Well, yeah, because he panicked and tried to fit it into the window, because the initial throw wasn't there because the defender was there and he couldn't move off of it. It just they give you almost false hope, because I'm with you, Chew. But I'll expand it to the last 3 weeks. What's the best throw Jordan's made in the last 3 weeks?
Everything looks so difficult.
I just want one throw to go, yes, there we go.
Well, to that point, I'm over the sidearm. I'm over it. Liked it before. It was a nice little parlor trick that the quarterback has, right? If he needs to get around a defender, make that completion. Now I just want to see good technique, good arm movement, you know what I mean? All of the things that, you work on as a quarterback. I don't need to see you whip it around some guy. It's kind of like when Brett used to defer to some of those trickier throws because he could do it. But at least Brett could make the other throws. I'm not sure that this guy can make the other throws. So don't give me the sidearm anymore. Let's just go back to standard throwing motion, get it to your target accurately and on time. Is that too much to ask, Gabe?
No, I don't think it is. But that's where I'm at with Jordan Love. Is I just want to see. It kind of feels like
you giving him the whole year.
Yeah, you got to give him the whole year, because what other options do you have?
I mean, if it continues like this, though, don't you have to kind of do something?
What are you gonna? Do you think Sean Clifford's the answer?
Let's find out.
I don't. I think that they went all in on this. I don't think they can pull the plug before the end of 17 games.
All right, so a lot like we talked Joe Barry, where he finishes defensively ranked this season.
Yeah.
What quarterback rating, whichever one you're using, is the cutoff point after a full season?
I mean, so
if it's 75, is that?
It depends upon, I guess, where you are in the draft pecking order, like where that draft pick falls.
So then that goes back to what I started this segment on. Are you at all interested in improving your draft stock? And again,
No.
whether you want to admit that you're tanking or not, or you want to just tank without telling anybody, I don't really see much of a difference there, since everybody seems to get their panties in a bunch when we talk about tanking in sports. But for some teams, it is a strategy. And for a team like this that seems at least arguably at a loss for high-level talent.
But here's the problem with the thought of tanking. Like the Cardinals, very obviously tanking. Like very obviously. Because tanking comes from the front office. It doesn't come from the coaches and players. Because they're going to put in, they're the ones grinding every day, and they're going to put in, the best effort they can. It comes from the front office and how you assemble the roster. So Goody assembled this roster because he thought it was going to be at least decent. We all remember the bleep-eating grin he had after the Bears game and how proud of himself that he was, that he had. Look at what I did. So now all of a sudden, oh no, we're tanking. What? No, you put together this roster to try to win and try to make steps forward and be a really good team in 2024. If you're tanking this year, that means this roster's so bad. That means you're years away. You are years away. Not just, one bad season will turn it around next year. No, if you're a team that's tanking like Arizona, they're years away from being a competitive football team.
And it's, how do you tell a coach to tank?
No, you don't.
But you tell them.
No, you give them bad talent.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You say, hey, Kyler Murray's not playing this year. So I think we will know that they're tanking when Jordan Love is no longer playing.
Are we witnessing a tank take place and we just all didn't buy in?
No.
Buy into the tank. Is that what you're saying?
Did we just miss the signals? Because look at the roster.
I think
what did they do to get better this year than they last year? What did they do to improve? Where are they better? They got younger. They added no veterans, 0 veterans.
But again, they were supposed to be getting better defensively. That was the whole point, wasn't it? Was that they have all this capital that they put on the defensive side of the ball. They got all these young players, Georgia. And, I mean, again, I'm not going to sit here and get on the defense yesterday because...
We're not saying they're playing well, though.
I don't think they're playing well. I think I saw that they were averaging, the Broncos were averaging like 5 yards per play or something like that. Does that seem right?
5 yards a carry. Yeah, the run defense was about what you would expect.
So they gave up 5.8 yards a carry.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's not good.
You know what? The defense is what it is. I don't know what analogy I'm thinking of. I don't even care. It's like
the defense,
background music.
The defense wasn't a problem yesterday because, again, it wasn't a problem against the Raiders either.
The horrible teams.
Yes,
2 horrible teams.
Correct. But, I mean, again... The defense will be an issue. I'm not saying that the defense played tremendously and lights out and you did all these great things, but when you give up 17 and 19 points, you should win those games in the NFL, typically. So the offense becomes the issue. But when they play some of these teams with better offenses, and honestly, it could come to fruition against the Vikings, even though they do not have their top weapon. Jordan Addison's flashed. TJ Hawkinson's pretty good. Like, they've got some offensive weapons that could give this defense an issue.
I got a lot of reaction rolling in.
Flip to the top.
On the ESPN Milwaukee Talk and Text line and on our Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter account saying Goody is the problem. Goody is the problem. Goody has not put talent on this roster. Goody has not given Matt LaFleur the weapons he needs. Goody has not given Jordan Love the weapons he needs, which, again, I know we have a drop here on this show that says Chewy was right. Holy whew, Chewy was right. Do we need to change that to Rodgers? Do we need to change that to Aaron Rodgers was right? Because wasn't one of his big gripes with this franchise the lack of talent? He kept saying, getting frustrated, having to elevate the guys around him. Who's the guy out there that's elevating the guys around them?
Yeah, there really is no one. I don't know.
But, well, no.
I like Reed.
Gonna need an answer, boys.
I like Reed.
Gonna need an answer.
Who is elevated? Well, okay. The long snapper has made it easy on the holder. Haven't really been any errant snaps, so he's elevated the holder. That's my answer.
But the kicker lost him the game.
Okay. Again, why are you...
Chewy was right? Holy,
thank you.
Chewy was right.
All I want.
It's a bit of confirmation bias happening right there. That's what that is.
Just wanted to make sure it still worked.
800-990-3776. We are still taking your reaction all morning long. People weighing in on whether or not this team is tanking or should tank. Conrad and Cedarburg saying tanking is stupid. I want to like our receivers, but they suck. Keep Wicks
But
and
they're
Reed.
young. They're so young.
And trade Watson and Dobbs. Romeo is garbage. All these balls were in his hands. He just was playing scared or something. I still enjoy watching Love, his raw talent, and his athleticism. I can be patient with Love. He had great teachers. You cannot undervalue or discredit that. We have no number one receiver and no playmakers on offense around Jordan. 800-990-3776. Keep getting us your reaction all morning long. Gabe?
The Ewald family of dealerships is proud to introduce Ewald Volkswagen of Menominee Falls. Get ready to shop the easy way. They make it easy to save on your favorite VW models with the lowest prices guaranteed. They make it easy to go further as well with Ewald's exclusive 20-year to 1,000-mile warranty. So it's easy to see why you would want to go to the Falls. Ewald Volkswagen on Main Street in Menominee Falls. Tomorrow, we're going to have On the Tee season finale out there. I'll be filling in on the Homer Hour as well. Stop by, say hi at Ewald Volkswagen on Main Street in Menominee Falls or go to ewaldvw.com today.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, a couple of issues going on. First of all, on southbound 94, right about at Ryan Road, off on the left shoulder, an accident there. Another one on northbound 894 at Oklahoma Avenue has the left lane blocked. So backups stretch all the way through the Hale interchange in all directions. And then we've got our other accident on westbound 94 as you're making your way through the stadium interchange on the right shoulder. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, slight chance for showers or storms and partly cloudy, a high of 60. Tonight, chance for showers, partly cloudy otherwise, a low of 55. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Guten Tag. Matt and Katie here with Milwaukee Pretzel Company.
You know, we love a good donut, but we're here to tell you there's a new office and party snack in town.
That's right. Milwaukee Pretzel Company now offers catering for pickup and delivery on weekdays.
Order our traditional Bavarian soft pretzel twist or our pillowy bites along with your choice of dips for an exceptional treat.
And you can get 20% off when you use the code catering20 at MilwaukeePretzel.com.
That's catering20 at MilwaukeePretzel.com.
Wow, Matt, you made it through without getting cheesy.
Well, I'm not your average pretzel spokesperson.
And there it is.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 46 to 48 ounce selected varieties Blue Bunny ice cream, 2 for $8. 10.5 to 16 ounce selected varieties Kohl's garlic toaster bread, 2 for $6. 7 to 15 ounce selected varieties Rana pasta or sauce, 2 for $7. 2 liter bottles selected varieties Super Chill soda, 4 for $5.
Let's see, spices, cardamom, hibiscus powder. It's like looking at Green Bay's roster right now. I don't recognize it, but I'll learn to love it.
Attention Century shoppers. You're going to love this opportunity. Win 2 tickets to see Green Bay play Kansas City on December 3rd, autographed Packers footballs, or 4 packs of Hall of Fame tickets.
I'd love to see Green Bay's new QB in action and win those tickets. What do I do?
Find the weekly code on Century's Facebook or Instagram and enter to win.
Love it. Getting the Century code on Insta right now.
Ends November 14th.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
A bank that goes the extra yard? You got it. Show your love for the green and gold with Packers checking only from Associated Bank. Make every transaction a touchdown with your Packers debit MasterCard. And when you use it at the Packers Pro Shop, at the stadium, or online, you'll get 10% off. Associated Bank's Packers checking scores the home field advantage by delivering Midwest-based customer care, outstanding value, and more. Get in the game and learn more today at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You can answer the question.
What's the question?
Can the Packers win without Aaron Jones on Sunday?
Yes. Will you stop? You know what he is? He's like the little devil on the shoulder.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Stick around. We've got Rob Domofsky joining the show in just a few moments. We will certainly ask him where to place the bulk of the blame after the Packers look bad, very bad, and seem to be regressing, which I think is something that Chewy said a few weeks ago, that there was a regression happening. I'm not sure when you're measuring the season in progress how you can actually be taking all of these steps backwards, where the offense just looks completely disjointed. It looks like they've never played a game or a down of football even together. Lots of reaction rolling in. 800-990-3776, unnamed in the 262, saying, are the Packers the worst team in the NFL? You guys said not yet, but close.
They're creeping.
It's a tight race.
I mean, they're in the group with the Broncos. I mean, if they played the Broncos again, it'd be like a pick 'em. You know, there's like a grouping of teams. There's one team that separated itself as the worst in the league, and then there's a grouping with the Packers, Bears, Broncos, Raiders.
Put your coaching cap on for a minute for me, Gabe.
Yes.
If you were coaching the Packers and playing that Broncos team again,
yes,
what would you do differently? Like, give me basic principles of how you would coach that team game differently.
Yeah.
Because again, and this is what I hope people look at when they look at the box score, this was a balanced-ish offense, right? They were leaning on the run. You've got Aaron Jones in there. Now I can gripe all day about how I wish he had more touches. I think he had 11 between the run game and the pass game. And how A.J. Dillon probably had his best game, certainly of the season. Maybe even there's an argument there of his time in Green Bay.
It's just so tough because I don't know. I don't really trust anyone on offense outside of Aaron Jones. And even that I don't trust completely because I don't think he's healthy.
So if he's on another pitch count, then why play him? Is he going to be on a pitch count this week? Like
I don't
you
know.
said, because it was after the bye.
Because he wants to play? Then you were saying earlier that if the coaches put you on a pitch count and you wanted to play, you'd play, right?
I wouldn't play on a pitch count. I've never been on a pitch count. I'm just like, okay, is the pitch count going to go away this week?
I don't know. I think that's a great question for Rob when he joins us here shortly, but it's...
Because a hamstring either goes, it's like an Achilles. You just have no idea. And where they're at right now, I don't know. Do you roll the dice?
I think you just roll the dice.
Maybe he blows it out and we're going to lose him for 6 games. What the hell's the difference?
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at with it. If you're healthy enough to play those 11, I'm kind of with Kurt. Like if you're ready to go, all right, then give him 20 touches.
Like do you want Watson playing this week against Minnesota on a pitch count?
I don't think Watson's going to be healthy enough. And again, that's just me going off of his LinkedIn page. Oh, injured. Oh, injured again. And also injured. Oh, injured. Just going to play the odds here, guys. Christian Watson is likely going to be injured next week.
I mean, playing without Musgrave and Watson.
Yeah, I mean, Musgrave was seen in a walking boot yesterday. Not great.
Not in defense, I think, is much more banged up.
I mean, they started without 2 starters, and then 2 more got hurt throughout the course of the game, and then a third one that you might think is eventually a starter got hurt on special teams.
Maybe taking it's not such a bad idea.
Yeah. but again, like it's just a bad roster that's assembled, and a lot of this. You mentioned Aaron Rodgers before, and he hinted at systemic issues within the Packers organization, and you're starting to see some of those creep up when Matt LaFleur's at the podium going, it's a great question. I don't know. So clearly he doesn't like his roster. Like, clearly to me, he doesn't want to throw anybody under the bus publicly because that's not who he is as a coach. But he's looking at the roster going, And I don't know how invested he is in the roster because he's obviously been cut out of the entire evaluation process by Brian Gutekunst. So you have a head coach and general manager who are working separately in concert because of the way that the president set things up. And we're starting to see that thing rear its ugly head.
And that is one of those things that can absolutely poison an entire organization. Because I guarantee, and I'm projecting here, I want to be very clear on this. I haven't spoken to Matt LaFleur about this, but I guarantee Matt LaFleur's going, hey, I got some knowledge here. I got some info in my brain that could be useful during the old, I don't know, drafting process, during the old evaluation of talent process. And so anybody who sits there and goes, thanks but no thanks to somebody who is interested in contributing insight, that is a huge red flag. And you sit there and go, how, let me just, I don't understand. Over the last X number of years, how have I not proven myself enough that I should have a voice in this process? Right? And that will just fester and eat at you. And then that will affect all of the relationships, all of the interactions going forward. Because then when somebody struggles, maybe a Goody has a struggle and picks a guy that doesn't pan out. You're over there going, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe if you'd asked me, maybe if you'd listened, I had some insights on that back in the day, but it's too late now. You went and did your own thing. And that has long-reaching tentacles when you are supposed to be in a collaborative and cooperative environment.
No, I agree. He's lost right now. It's like, I was just thinking, his games right now against bad teams, to me, his game plan is, hey, let's try to win this game 14-10.
Sure.
Let's try to win it and they can't even do that. So what the hell is the game plan going to be when you got the Chiefs rolling in? Isn't it time to say, you know what? I really want to swear, but I'm not.
Thank you.
F it right now. Just throw the damn ball. All right? Let's go down with the ship. Let's not be very pretty in this. Oh, my pretty little pet. You stroke it and you kiss it. You know what I'm saying?
What exactly does that offense look like? I'm just curious. The quote-unquote pretty little pet offense.
It's just checkdowns are fine. Isn't it time to just let the kid go? You see the dig, throw it, wing it, let it go.
The problem is you don't have any veteran. Like it seems
but
like
this is your last bad team, Gabe. This is it for a while.
Yes, I understand. But if the receivers are in the wrong spots,
the next guy up, Dobbs. What the flip are you doing here?
Get out. Put somebody else in.
That's a one-on-one matchup. Yeah. We expect you to win. Okay, you know where you're going. He doesn't know where you're going. So get there and get open and make a play.
And I just can't get over the fact, guys, that this is coming off the bye. Like, I know we touched on it in the first hour of the show, but like, what were you doing during the bye? You know, I've made the joke before about Miracle. I've made the joke about again. Back in the day, that's how you learned something, man. If you messed it up, didn't your coaches have you out there? No, you didn't do it right. Do it again. I don't understand. Again, I wasn't with the guys. I don't know what they did on their bye. I don't know how you justify going out there and living it up when you're on a team that had lost 3 straight. That's what I'm struggling with, is how do you come off the bye and look this bad?
I agree. And if you are going to screw it up and you're not sure, do it 100, do it full blast. You know? Don't tiptoe and like, oh, he's in my area. I'm not supposed to be here. You know,
make a decision.
Make a decision and go with it. This isn't your first year of playing football. Okay, it may be in the NFL, but the gap between college, Power 5 college and pro has closed since I played. So they're a lot closer to one another. The offenses are very similar, so it's not your first. Just play.
Sure, but Mountain West.
No, I agree with that. But still, 4 years, man. 4 years, I don't care. You know what you are after 4 years. You know what you are.
You know, it's funny, guys. I keep going back to, and humor me for a moment, I keep going back to family night when they had those nets in the old end zone. And we were like, oh, Jordan Love wasn't that good at he wasn't that good at the old net drill. Remember, we were like, I mean, he found it a couple of times, but not as often as we would have liked for a family night scrimmage with no defensive line bearing down on him. And we were like, it's probably nothing.
I mean, why are you dragging us in with you? We were like, oh, it's probably nothing, while we were yelling 6 games over here. Which I can push this guy away too, because you abandoned me as well.
Well, we had those 2 games, Gabe, and he looked so good. We've got Rob Domofsky coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You will want to stick around for that. Rob always has fantastic insight on the Green Bay Packers. Can hopefully let us know what is there to be optimistic about this team right now. Gabe?
Love my people over at Fifth Third Bank, and you've probably heard about employee stock ownership plans before, but what separates those folks from Fifth Third Bank from others when it comes to these plans? Fifth Third offers unmatched expertise and flexibility when creating ESOP solutions, from full and partial sales, second stage transactions, repurchase obligation financing, and seller note refinancing. ESOPs can offer tax advantages, increased liquidity, employee incentives, and overall diversification of net worth to help your company plan for the future. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We are moving along with an accident on northbound 894 at Oklahoma Avenue. Left lane is blocked, backing things up through the hail interchange pretty much in all directions, so be prepared for that. Also on 94 southbound at Ryan Road, we've got an accident on the left shoulder causing some headaches. Southbound 43 slowing from Silver Spring all the way down past Keefe. Traffic is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Slight chance for showers or storms. Partly cloudy otherwise, a high of 60. Tonight, chance for showers, partly cloudy with a low of 55. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Mazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's a city from a fairy tale on the Mediterranean Sea.
Netanya, the city of diamonds.
And in this city of diamonds lived a crazy genius named Moses Hadara.
Moses was a mathematician,
a diamond cutter,
and a bit of a theoretical physicist.
Albert Einstein devised a formula, E equals MC squared.
Albert's formula unleashed the power locked inside an atom.
Moses' formula unleashed the power locked inside a diamond.
Moses began with star facets,
kite facets,
upper girdle facets,
lower girdle facets,
and pavilion facets.
But then a voice told him to add 24 new facets, the Moses facets.
When he cut the final one,
Shazam!
Moses unleashed an explosion of light.
That dazzling diamond is known today as the Kessler 81.
See it for yourself.
See it for yourself.
See it for yourself.
At Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Are you looking for the perfect restaurant for your next night out? Then make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate, your next dinner destination. Specializing in artisanal American cuisine, Aria features carefully prepared seasonal entrees along with a robust selection of craft cocktails, wine, and local beer. Join them on Sundays for the restaurant's famous trademark chicken, served family style with sides like mashed potatoes, goat cheese biscuits, and more. Make your plans today to dine at Aria. Learn more and make reservations at aria@stkate.com. That's aria@stkate.com.
The future of joint pain relief is right here in Milwaukee. It's QC Kinetics, Advanced Regenerative Medicine. Hey, this is Brad Nortman. If you've been told that more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. I'm talking long-lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem, using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, or your back, and with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Listen, life is about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Call the local medical professionals and get a free consultation today. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Again, 414-285-3474.
ESPN's #1 source for green and gold information.
What's the biggest mistake that new quarterbacks make? Turnovers. And he hasn't had it.
And mating rituals.
The Shed Aquarium in Chicago was one of my favorite school field trips here, and I believe there were dolphins there, but they left that out.
Our most musically inclined and bald guest.
Wow, I'm a little, it's only love. It's only love.
It's Rob Domofsky on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
We certainly appreciate having Rob Domofsky hang out with us after Packers games. We certainly wish we were talking about a Packers victory over a bad Broncos team. Good morning, Rob. How are you doing today after that debacle?
Well, the sun came up here in Denver. I don't know what it did there in Wisconsin. I'm not back yet. So,
well, you got those Rocky Mountains out there. I mean, it's a heck of a view you're probably staring at. That helps.
Beautiful. Like, I don't know that I want to come home.
Coming home means just talking more about the Green Bay Packers loss. I want to ask you about the motion, because one of the things that we saw early this season with Matt LaFleur's offense was motion. And Aaron Rodgers famously talked about how he wasn't a huge fan, and Chewy has said he doesn't like motion to motion. But it did feel like it was at times affecting the defense, making them react to what they were doing, and maybe, just maybe, getting guys open. Where'd the motion go?
Well, I believe remember the play where Christian Watson and Jaden Reed both ran in the same spot?
Yeah, definitely remember that.
Third down play. I'm pretty sure I think Watson went in motion on that play, if I remember correctly. And that was fairly early on in the game. And there was a big mistake there. Both guys ran at the same spot, and it was clearly Watson at fault, because you could see LaFleur's reaction when he came off the sideline. He went right to Watson, and then after the game, LaFleur explained we asked Christian to do a lot. We put him in motion a lot, but, he's got to know better than that. I wonder if that scared him a little bit, if that just made him think twice about it.
Rob, why are they so bad in the first half? I mean, this is kind of 4 weeks in a row that they are just it's so painful to watch, because all it is checkdowns. Yeah.
Yeah, it's historically bad, Chewy. I mean, 4 straight games of 3 or less points. I think the last time a Packers team did that in the first half was 1988. Like, just think about that for a minute. 1988, last time they had 4 straight games where they had 3 or less points in the first half. And it's like this team can't play until they get into hurry up mode. Maybe try no huddle early on, get some rhythm going. It doesn't necessarily mean chuck the ball down the field, which, they came out of this game going, well, I think we should take more deep shots. Well, it was going into the last game, where they said, well, we got to just get some completions to get some rhythm. So which is it? I mean, they're clearly just grasping at straws at this point.
When Matt LaFleur responds to the line of questioning that he got yesterday about, why things haven't gotten better, and he goes, good question.
Hold on, let's hear it. We've got the Matt LaFleur sound, and I don't think we can play it enough, to be perfectly honest with you. Joshua, you got that Matt LaFleur sound?
How much progress do you feel you made over the bye week with maybe fixing some of those slow starts? And
Obviously, zero.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think it's been that way for the last month?
That's a great question.
He's famously somebody that doesn't throw his team or any players under the bus. Is that him not saying anything because he thinks his roster is bad?
Boy, you know what? That's a good question. I didn't mean that intentionally. I do know this, that, going into this season, when I sat down with them in late August for some one-on-one for some stories I was working on for the start of the season, he was essentially saying, look, you guys got to be patient. You got to be patient with us. And one of the positions that he brought up that he was concerned about was the young tight ends. He's like, we don't have enough experience at the tight end position, and that's going to be a little bit of a work in progress. And it's kind of how it's played out. Does he think he doesn't have the roster? I don't think he has the roster, but this was by design, right? They wanted to build this team sort of from youth on up and let these guys grow together. But right now the growing pains are they're bad. They're really bad.
Is this worse than they thought originally, you think? Did you think beginning of the season like, oh, it can't be this? I think it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's just not the fact that they're 2-4, Chewy. It's just the fact that it looks so bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have no answers. That's the thing. Good question, he said. They're grasping at straws. I mean, think about this. They went from we need to run the ball more to we need short passes to now we need to chuck it downfield. Like that just tells you they have no idea.
Well, I think there's a frustration in that we always talk about football being a team sport and how you need everybody to do their job.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick on each individual play, and there were a lot of times where you thought maybe they had something going, even if it was small, like marginal, like tiny. Oh, I see a flicker of a heartbeat here, and then you got a penalty on the offensive line, or you got it was DeGuara who had the false start. Now, I think that if he continues that movement, by the way, once you move, if you continue moving, then it's just motion, right? But when you move and then you set again, well, that's an easy flag, isn't it? Anyway, what I was going to say is Aaron Jones specifically, he was on apparently a pitch count yesterday. Do you expect him to be on a pitch count going forward?
If he got through the game okay, I would say no. But he's been on a pitch count his whole career. I mean, they've never, completely turned him loose. I think I talked about it in the pregame show. He's got like 5 games in his career where he's carried 20 times or more. Like that's a career pitch count. But A.J. Dillon was a little bit more effective yesterday. The one long play that got called back because the Elton Jenkins hold obviously hurt, but he's their best player, and they need to get him the ball whenever possible.
What is Jair's back, Rob? Is it spasms? Is it a disc issue? Do you not know because they're so...
Yeah, they're not saying. And Mark,
I had a bad back my whole flipping career.
I was just
going to say,
I was just going to say I remember you having back issues, but I don't remember if that was spasms or muscles or skeletal. But you never had surgery, did you, on your back?
No, I was just just a tall guy with thin hips. Andy Reid said if I had fat hips, I'd be fine. Well, that's what he told me. But I'm telling you, I played with a bad back, Rob. I played games at 88% or 90%. Right. I mean,
sure wasn't 89%.
Most of us are short guys with fat hips. That's all guys with skinny hips.
But is there a fear, Rob? Is there a fear, Rob, that he's going to lose this team?
Let's just take the injury thing just for starters. I don't think players are built like the mindset's not like it was in 1997. Like I'm starting to sound like I remember talking to Jim Taylor when Amon Green was going to break his rushing record, and Jim Taylor said, I can't even watch this football. This isn't even football the way we played it. I'm probably saying that now about this generation of players having seen it for 26 years. But there's so much money at stake that I think these guys are just they're scared, and I think the teams, I know there's been a ton of ripping on the training staff like in the last week because they had 10 guys on the injury report coming off their bye week. I don't think it's the training staff. The training staff they deal with the guys after they get hurt. Mm-hmm. To me, it's the coaching staff. Chewy, this is like the softest.
Yeah.
4 years or 5 years of training camp and practice I've ever seen. I'll bet you in let's just take the last 2 training camps. I'll bet you there's less than 5 practices where they went for more than like 2 hours and 10 minutes.
But wait a minute, is it soft across the board, Rob? I'm sorry, but is it soft across the board?
Yeah,
the league.
Yeah, we don't see. I don't see every team obviously in training camp, but I know when the Packers went to the Bengals, that practice was like 2 hours and 25 minutes or 2.5 hours. Not because the Packers wanted it that way, because that's what Zach Taylor in Cincinnati wanted. So not all these teams are doing it this way. I just think that you have to harden yourself in order to avoid injuries. The idea of going light to avoid injuries, I think, is the wrong way.
What's the relationship like between Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur?
That's a great question. I think here's the thing. I don't think there necessarily is like this divide between them, but I don't know that there's this great working relationship either, because they're one's not the other's boss, and like they sort of operate independently in some sense because they're on the same organizational level. Like, Goody doesn't have to meet with Matt LaFleur weekly because he's not his boss. He's not over him, and I don't know what the benefits of that structure are. I'm sure there are some, but I think one of the detriments is that the guy who's providing the players isn't directly over the guy who's coaching those players, and therefore, if there's something that needs to be done that the GM thinks has to be done, he has no power to make the coach do it. To me, that's the shortcoming of this power structure.
Okay, how much blame do we put on these players? Because I know we've been talking about them being young, and I do think that is a justifiable reason for some of these struggles. But when you come off of the bye, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying it is, Jen. But let's look at we talked about penalties, and I asked LaFleur about them. Let's look at some of the guys who had penalties yesterday. Elton Jenkins, Josh Myers, Josiah DeGuara. I mean, those are among the more veteran guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, Rasheed Walker at left tackle I think he had at least 2. Fine. Like, he's never played in the NFL before a couple of weeks ago. Like, you sort of give him a pass. But, I mean, some of these guys that were committing the penalties were their most experienced guys, and they don't have a lot of experienced guys. And those are the guys that need to be perfect, because that the young guys aren't going to be perfect.
Well, in the penalties, there weren't a lot of them, because there were only 7, and I think they also had 7 against Atlanta, and I don't know, maybe 11.
A couple that were declined though too.
But they were at bad
times.
Had
bad plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like we talked earlier about it was the Jenkins hold.
Yeah.
When they were driving on that last series, that was really bad. But I guess my question is, coming off of the bye, Rob, how are guys still in the wrong place? How are guys still running the wrong route? Like, does that mean you're just not in your playbook? Is it that simple?
Could be. Think about the last 2 games. They had extra time to prepare for both of them, right? Because the Raiders game was a Monday night game coming off a Thursday game, right? So it wasn't just the extra day with the Monday night game. They had the Thursday game against Detroit, right, before that.
Mm-hmm.
So the last 2 times that this team has played football, they had extra time to prepare, and this is what happens. That's a bad sign for the coaches. It's a bad sign for the players that you're getting extra time and you're still making what would be, what I guess I would consider rudimentary mistakes.
Rob, where are you at with Jordan Love right now? Give him more time.
Yeah,
I'm in it
for the long haul.
This is 4 stinkers in a row.
It is. I'm in it for the long haul, Chewy, because here's why. Because that's what you decided this season was going to be, and you have unless you already think that he's not the guy. All right, and I don't think Brian Gutekunst thinks that. I don't know. I'm sure Matt LaFleur is probably questioning a little bit more, but I guarantee you right now that Brian Gutekunst doesn't think he's not the guy. So in that case, you have to ride it out, and you've got to get through this season and see if if you end up with a top 8 pick, if you got to draft another quarterback, you have to ride it out right now. Although I will be honest with you, there's part of me that, and this is just the backup always, but there's part of me that wonders, what if Sean Clifford is Brock Purdy? He's like,
don't laugh at that game.
Sean Clifford, and I don't want to get too into hyperbole here, but I think Sean Clifford had probably the best rookie training camp of any quarterback since maybe Matt Hasselbeck or Matt Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those guys were really, really good in training camp, and I'm throwing Aaron Rodgers in that too. Like, those guys were better as rookies. And I put Sean Clifford in that than Aaron Rodgers was, than Aaron Brooks was, than certainly guys that went on to play in this league. So, I don't think that you're at the point where you need to see Sean Clifford, but wouldn't it be something if, for whatever reason, Jordan, had to come out and Sean Clifford started lighting things up? I mean, it would make you wonder, wouldn't it?
It's going to require an injury. There's no way that right. It's not going to be a performance-based benching.
100%.
Just given everything
I agree, Jen.
that goes into this sucker.
I 100% agree with that, Jen.
All right. We appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. Hopefully better days are ahead, Rob.
Well, thanks. This worked out perfectly because now I'm going to go have a little breakfast and head to the airport. So this is great timing today.
Happy to help.
Glad we could be there for you.
Forced me to get out of bed here in Denver and see the sun on the mountain.
Amazing. He's Rob Domofsky. You can read him on ESPN.com. You can see him on ESPN, and you can hear him on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every Monday following Packers games. Have you guys considered Professional Construction Inc. in Waukesha for all of your construction needs yet? I haven't really gotten a chance to sit over here and talk about how great our basement is. Wanted to make sure that, gave it a couple of days, couple of weekends, but, my kid's down there watching the 4-box on YouTube TV, enjoying some NFL football. We got the video game machine down there, and he's got his mini hoop hanging on the back of one of the doors. It's a regular great time for him and his buddies, and we couldn't have done it without our friends over at Professional Construction Inc. And if you're wondering, what can Professional Construction Inc. do for us? Very simple. Go to their website. They've got pictures from some of their jobs. You might even see my basement on the website. It might give you some ideas of what you would like to see your house look like or your remodeling project look like. Look, they have been incredibly professional. They were incredibly efficient. Anytime we had a question, they helped us through it, and they can do the same for you. Just go to the website, professionalconstructioninc.com, professionalconstructioninc.com. Tell them Jen from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy sent you.
Full show podcasts, interviews, and special content is available right now at WisconsinOnDemand.com. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on 94.5 ESPN.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 46 to 48 ounce selected varieties Blue Bunny ice cream, 2 for $8. 10.5 to 16 ounce selected varieties Kohl's garlic toaster bread, 2 for $6. 7 to 15 ounce selected varieties Rana pasta or sauce, 2 for $7. 2 liter bottles selected varieties Super Chill soda, 4 for $5.
Let's see. Spices. Cardamom? Hibiscus powder. It's like looking at Green Bay's roster right now. I don't recognize it, but I'll learn to love it.
Attention Century shoppers. You're going to love this opportunity. Win 2 tickets to see Green Bay play Kansas City on December 3rd. Autographed Packers footballs or 4 packs of Hall of Fame tickets.
I'd love to see Green Bay's new QB in action and win those tickets. What do I do?
Find the weekly code on Century's Facebook or Instagram and enter to win.
Love it. Getting the Century code on Insta right now.
Ends November 14th.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank, and you gotta love finding change in the junk drawer, or even better, a 20 in your laundry or pants pocket, right? But the best source of extra cash may be in the walls of your home. All right, wait. Now, put down the sledgehammer and tap into the value of your house by setting up a home equity line of credit and experience a state of tranquility, knowing funds are there when you need them. Get started at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
There's only one place in Milwaukee where every day of the year, dreams and reality get together for a great time. Where you can walk in a player and walk out a winner. That place, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. With fantastic dining, gaming, sports betting, a luxurious hotel, and endless ways to win, the excitement never stops. The only thing missing is you. Your win is waiting. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Visit our website to learn more. Must be 21 to enter casino.
The all-new Ewald VW and Buick GMC on Main Street in Menominee Falls is opening. Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel, hoping you'll join ESPN Milwaukee Tuesday, October 24th, live in Menominee Falls from Ewald Buick GMC. I'll be on site filling in on the Homer Hour from 5 until 6, and then it's me and Stephen Watson for the season finale of On the Tee from 6 until 7. Stop by Main Street in Menominee Falls, say hi, check out Ewald's selection in person, or visit ewaldauto.com for info. It's the Homer Hour and On the Tee Tuesday from 5 to 7 p.m. live from the Ewald Buick GMC in Menominee Falls.
Are you considering a career in media? With the help of the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Foundation, you can be a part of this exciting field. The WBA is offering 4 scholarships. 2 for $2,500, and 2 for $1,500 to assist students enrolled in broadcasting or related educational programs. Students who have completed at least one half of their degree or graduation requirements are eligible to apply online at www.wbafoundation.org. Applications must be received by 4 p.m. Friday, November 3rd.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around. And I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never would just want to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
There's a lot of sodas now that are prebiotic sodas
They
as
don't
well.
work. They're called poop.
Well,
No, they're really called poop, I think. You buy them on Amazon.
I thought you were going to stop talking.
You got a lot of brust in you. You know that?
On 94.5 ESPN.
If you're looking to free up some cash this fall and into the holiday season, consider a home equity line of credit with Great Midwest Bank. You guys know all of my banking, all of my mortgage stuff, loan stuff goes through my friends over at Great Midwest Bank. You know why? Because I trust them. I trust them with my money. I trust them to put me in a good position. I trust them to tell me how I should be handling any given situation. When we need a little extra cash, home equity loan. And they can do the same for you. Find peace of mind knowing that funds are there for you at a moment's notice, and you will only pay interest on what you use. Talk to a friendly professional GMB loan officer to learn more, such as my guy John Hugo out in Brookfield. Great Midwest Bank is your and my simply local equal housing lender. Lots of reaction rolling in today to the Packers losing to the Broncos, a bad team. Maybe the Packers are a bad team. They're not the worst team. We at least have concluded that this morning. But we don't have a lot to be optimistic about with this team. There's not a lot where you can go, you know what? It ain't great, but at least it's blank. We got right? I mean, Jaden Reed is my guy. Jaden Reed is the one guy where I'm like, at least he has shown flashes of being a guy who can.
Mm-hmm. When was the last time he had a flash?
He caught that ball off the hands of Romeo Dobbs in the end zone yesterday.
Oh, he caught it he was standing there.
In the right place,
Look,
Gabe.
it's a
Look,
ball.
hold on a minute.
Catch it.
Hold on a minute. How many of these guys have not been standing in the right place or running the right route?
He may have not been standing in the right
same
place.
Yeah.
He may not have been standing in the right place. He was standing at the place where the ball got
It
deflected.
was the right place for that moment, that's for sure. And the Packers find themselves losing by 2 points. Again, what was the worst play of yesterday? Was it the missed field goal? Because if they hit that field goal, maybe they do win the game, win by 3. Was it the penalty on Jenkins as they were driving down the field to get in field goal range that put them out of field goal range and then led to what I consider to be the next option here, the interception on the Hail Mary? Gabe says no. It was the touchdowns. They were the worst.
Yeah.
So fluky.
The flukiest touchdowns that ever fluked their way
So
into the end
fluky.
zone.
Well, because and then my problem even with, because I'm with you. I really like Jaden Reed. But that's just kind of blind faith and hope. Because over the last 3 games offensively, there's been no one where you go, oh yeah. There hasn't been a play. What's been the best play? The broken play where nobody covered Christian Watson and then he almost scored but then got caught from behind?
Dontavian Wicks play?
Can we have fun tomorrow?
Absolutely. I got a bunch of fun. I got a
Flush it.
I got a squirrel infestation that I really want to get into with you guys. They're storing their fruit in my treehouse. It's brilliant. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is over. Wilde and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee.
We do have one thing left over. It is an accident on 894 northbound at Oklahoma.